inspired to co-lead this talk today. Okay. As the daily word reminded us, there are so many ways to share our gifts of love and care. Each act of service draws us closer to our human and animal brothers and sisters, which increases our experience of oneness. God is the love with which we share. I would like us to hear and learn from and appreciate someone in our community, Linda Lloyd, who has made serving others her life. Her work has not cast a pebble, but I would say boulders into the pool of life, and the ripples have indeed spread to many shores. I've been so moved by her caring heart and by how she lives her spiritual truth, and specifically the work she does through Angels Answer. And I wanted to know what led her to take on this work. What helped her to have so much compassion and empathy and for those in need, and how did she begin to serve large groups of people? What are some examples of this work? So I asked Linda these questions, and they became the seeds of this talk that she will share with you today. So please welcome Linda.
Thank you. Wow, thank you very much. So every beginning has a story, and I have a story to tell about how Angel's Answer came to be and how Spirit worked through maybe some challenges, but came through like incredibly amazing lessons in life. So when I was little, we lived with my grandparents for the first 8 years of my life. So my father was a disabled veteran from World War II, and he was on the front lines in Anzio, and he came back injured, and today it would be PTSD, but in the day it was shell shock. And so I spent during my formative years, he was in the VA hospital most of my childhood. And when I was 10, he tried to take his life because it was very challenging for him. So for the children and the family, it was really challenging. So but Spirit came through it all of it. And as a child, there'd be a girl at school, starting school, and I would see her, and she'd be in the cubby starting school her first day, and she'd be scared, and I'd confront her, and I'd want to be with her. So it was like in me from the very beginning. It just was like an emotional connection to how can I help someone who, how can I serve? And so that was, quite an experience, but there was a lot of growth that came through that. And I think that through adversity, you learn your life lessons and how you can serve and be a light in the world from your own experiences. So I definitely had those amazing experiences. And that's then, along the way, I'd always want to help and serve people wherever I could. Took care of my grandparents. And then the tornadoes came through Munson and Brimfield back in 2012. And as just a concerned citizen, I went out and helped them for a whole year. We put together a program for them. I was part of an organization called, like a nonprofit called Pathway to Renewal, which worked with FEMA and MEMA to help the families who were displaced by the tornado. So when we would walk into the church, which had some damage, we set up a food pantry in the church, so like wall to wall, all around the whole church. Everyone came out. People brought canned goods, and everyone who had any kind of trade came out and helped the families during the whole year. There'd be gloves over here, and there'd be everything you could possibly think of. While I was there, I put out a paper for people to sign up for jobs that they wanted to do. Women came out of from their homes and said, I'll take care of their kids who, the families were displaced. So everybody, just like, it was incredible human service. Everyone came out. So that went on for a year. My husband is a baker, so we used his hamburger buns from the bakery by the thousands, and I went around to all the people in the town and businesses, and they helped out, blocks of cheese, and I mean, it was just incredible. So we would gather together in the church and help out the families throughout the whole year. We'd make brown bag lunches and by the hundreds, and they'd go out to all the workers in the field who were helping out with the tornado victims. People just came out of everywhere to help. So that's one of my stories. And then another story is that one time in my town there was a fire, and the people who had the fire were people who were, kind of, there was a home for people who were homeless and, people with drug addiction and all that. So there was a home in my town for people to come to live there and stay there. And one day there was a fire, and it was in the wintertime. So they were all displaced, and they were out in a parking lot and cold, and, no one was tending to them. So I ran to the parish hall, which was right next to where the fire was. And I talked to the priest. I knocked on his door and I said, can I bring these people in? They're out in the cold. They had a fire. We need to do something. And he was scared. He really didn't want to do it because of the background of the people who were displaced because of their records or whatever. But I convinced him to let these people come in, because that's the point of being a priest and being of service to people, right? Yeah. So I went back down to where the people were outside and got them all together. We paraded down to the parish hall and put the lights on, and they were nice and warm and toasty, which is what God would want us to do for anyone in a situation like that. Why not? I mean, so then... So I let them get settled, and then I walked up to the VFW hall, and then it had a big function for the veterans that morning. So there was a big cake that was left over, and there was beverages. So I carted that over to where the people were, and I gave them some cake and beverages, and they were grateful. And then eventually it was time for them to go back to their house. They got the all clear, and that was another, how can I use me, Great Spirit, how can I serve today? And we have a lot of projects that are out there right now. We have had Angels and Backpacks program in school, which is a program where the kids in school, the 6th graders, would pack the bags up, and we'd have so much food to donate into the backpack bags every week, because what came to me was that children are our greatest asset, and we need to help the children. So I would say, just help me serve these kids who we don't know what they're going home to, and they wouldn't tell a teacher if their roof was leaking or they had no electricity or anything like that. So to the kids, the guidance counselor, I worked with him, and he told me there was about 20 kids that needed our help. So every Friday we put the bags together for many, many, many years. So that's a program that we have. We have Angel Paws, which is a program where we provide free dog and cat food to senior citizens to help with their finances, because one of the stories we heard is that some elders would give their Meals on Wheels to their pets, and they wouldn't have as much for themselves. And so we have about 3 food pantries for pets where we provide dog and cat food to senior citizen facilities. We have had Power Angels where we provide free organic foods to women with breast cancer because they want to have a good start, and those that want to use nutrition. So that was called Power Angels, and that was an organization where we put that together. The people came into Worcester. I heard from everyone got to know about my services, and Sarai Rivera is a city councilor in Worcester, got in touch with me and said, we have these families coming in from Puerto Rico. There was Hurricane Maria, and can you help us? So we, right, like life's an improv, right? So we put together a table immediately. Like we're calling in the forces, right? So we provided 2 tables that we had, and it was at the Quality Inn in Worcester, and Carmen was by my side. Carmen was there helping me when she could help out, and we fed these families who came into America with just the clothes on their backs. They didn't have anything, but they were welcomed here during that, Hurricane Maria, and people came with elderly with breathing issues, the young, all ages came here not knowing what they were going to expect, but we provided, boy, did we, give me an opportunity. Give me an opportunity. I was like, I'm so grateful for that I have that spirit to be able to do that. And then now, so now where we're at right now, to this day, is that we have a contract with Whole Foods Market, and we provide thousands and thousands of pounds of food every week to our area local agencies. So some of our agencies are Net of Compassion, which I'm going to go through like the usual week that we have. So Tuesday is someone picks up Whole Foods, and so then that is distributed to where Joellen lives. We have a food pantry over there called Ascension Heights. We have a food pantry over there every Tuesday. And then what's left to share goes to Green Island Neighborhood Center, and they get tons of food to share with their pantries. And then we have so then that's Tuesday. Wednesday, Abby's House comes to Whole Foods, and we distribute tons of food to Abby's House every week, and that goes out all over to shelters where families come who are displaced, and goes all over the whole city of Worcester. We have we have a Friendly House, you name it, practically any agency that's out there, Worcester Community Fridges. So Wednesday is Abby's House. Thursday, Carmen and Kathy help us as being volunteers, and they go to Whole Foods, and they bring the food out to the Worcester Community Fridges for us, and also to the Net of Compassion, who has programs and a food pantry over there. And then it comes to Friday, and Friday we have a food pantry at Renaissance Medical Group in Southbridge for the Hispanic community, and we feed them every week. So we are like, and then so coming up to what can we do to serve our community in Northborough is, I have a lot of ideas that we could do that would, just make a big difference, because, I've seen posts on Facebook which says that you never know when you meet someone at the grocery store or wherever you meet them, you don't know what private battles they're battling, and you don't see it. They put on a good front. So there's always, there's always how can I serve, flow through me, show me how I can serve today. That's what our mission is. And so we have a lot of things that are available to do.
Join you up here with
Sure.
as we talk about this.
Yeah.
I just interject for a second that one of my fantasies is that as a group, we could do some service projects together here. Say once a month after the service, maybe we had brought in canned goods, we would organize them, or maybe we would put together some goodie bags for seniors. That's
Right.
something Linda told me that she does. The Northborough Food Pantry, I did get in touch with them, and they would love any help we could give, so we could think about how we might do that. The idea being that yes, we would love to join with you in your efforts, but that doing things as a group grows us all spiritually as well. That act of working together, we feel, our hearts open, we are closer to each other as we do the work, and that it would for me, it would be a last puzzle piece for the fullness of my spiritual community. So let's keep on sharing. You said there were refugees now,
Right.
in-
What I just
in
found out
Northborough?
is that there are recently, like within the last month, there are families that came in to either from Afghanistan and any of the borders that people are displaced and have nowhere to go. So Northborough took in 50, I think a minimum of 50 refugees from other countries. And my thoughts were to provide, I have over there in my display, these outreach meals which have gone around the world. A friend of mine came from Texas with the biggest van you could ever imagine. So we brought it to my warehouse and we loaded up that van and, sent that all around the world. So those meal packages are good for when the power goes out or whatever. So they come to me
And
all the
what
time.
else can we do here? Because not all of us can
Right.
go
Yep.
to your warehouse.
Right. So
And what
some of the projects that I was thinking about is that, which no one hears too much about, is that there are young girls in elementary school who, because of their income, don't have money for feminine products. That's a big project that I've been helping out in our local communities, providing feminine pads and feminine products to the school nurses in the elementary schools, because you wouldn't believe, they have to find ways to improvise when they don't have money for pads. And the nurses say that the girls go into the office all the time because there wouldn't be any money if the money was spent on other things in the family, alcohol or drugs or whatever the family
Food.
situation is,
Yeah.
poverty,
Yeah.
power,
Yeah.
yeah, all that. So
Yeah.
so we could do a feminine pad,
bring things in
feminine
and then
products,
package
drive,
them.
yeah, and then we could deliver it to the school nurse in Northborough. So that's a project that is like hugely important. And then myself with the Rotary Club that I belong to, we have put together bags for senior citizens during the holidays. So anything, little things that they would enjoy getting, and little napkin, tissue containers and shampoos and conditioners and shavers. And you go to the units, we went to the units and asked how many couples, how many men, how many women, and then we put bags together for low income housing and senior housing.
We could gather some things like that, and then
Yep, have some
have
bins
some
and
bags,
have all the
bags and bins and
yeah,
yeah.
something we could do with that.
Yeah.
And
And of course, lots of churches will adopt a family or two that someone lets us know. Maybe it's the refugee community. Okay, we've got a family with 3 kids this age, and then if people wanted to, they could bring a present for that age, find out what the need was, and then we
We've
could
done
wrap
that
them
big time, every
together.
year.
And it's
And
just-
people want to do that. People reach out, say, do you have which happens to me every year, do you have families that I could, adopt for Christmas? Yep, absolutely, we do. So then,
so we could
yep,
too if we wanted
Yep.
to.
yep.
So we would love to hear from you what your ideas are, not right in the moment, but at coffee hour. we'd love to hear from you. And is there anything else that you wanted to say?
I
about
think
this
we
right now?
really covered a lot of, yes.
How did you get inspired with the name?
Good question.
That is a good question. I just always felt connected to spirit angels, and I felt like in my life, the angels have always answered. Angels answer. They do. You know, I know for a fact that angels do answer. All you have to do is ask. So angels answer. They really do.
That's a great question, though. Yeah. So, as Bob reminded me, service is a sacred mission, and we are all so grateful
Thank
to
you.
you and honoring what all of us do, because each one of us, every moment, every time we interact with someone, we are
It's an
we are
opportunity
serving
to
with our
serve.
love.
Yep.
So,
because you never know in any given moment when, if you just look, you know, and see, you know, have this awareness, have the awareness, then there's always an opportunity to serve and see the light that, you know, just see the blessings that you can be to other people, and it totally enriches your own life beyond imagination. You know, it just is just been a real blessing to be part of Angel's Answer, and you know, it's just every minute it just keeps growing, and opportunities come in all the time, every day. So I'm grateful to talk to you about Angel's Answer.
can you introduce the video?
Okay, yeah. So I have a video that I'm going to play. Amma. She is called the Healing Saint from India, and she has been such an inspiration to me. June House introduced me to June. To Amma, she kept saying, "When are you going to come and go see Amma? When are you going to?" She would, you know, and I had had the boys, and June had seen Amma when June was in Mexico, and she said, "You have to go see this woman named Amma." So I did get to go in the 90s after the boys were born, and Amma has been a complete inspiration to the whole world. She has so many organizations. She has a university that she's created. She's created hospitals. She takes any donations that come in and gives it back to the world. She's got a program with trees helping continue the green part of the earth, and so she's hugged 33 million people at all her workshops when she goes to. Yep. Oh, that's great, Carmen. And yep. So Amma's hugged 33 million people, and she's hugged lepers. So she knows there's no division with Amma. She will hug anyone. She's hugged kings and queens and princes down to the lowest of the low, and there's no division. We're all one in Amma's eyes. So Amma inspired me to create Angel's Answer. Amma was a big inspiration for me to serve. So the video is Amma singing the words like, how can I serve? So
We're going to give out the words. So that
yep,
you can
yep.
sing.
And if you give me one, I'll read the words. Yep. So Amma says, everyone in the world should be able to sleep without fear, at least for one night. Everyone should be able to eat to his fill for at least one day, which has been my inspiration. How can I fulfill Amma's wish? There should be at least one day when hospitals see no violence. No one is admitted to the hospitals due to violence. By doing selfless service for at least one day, everyone should help the poor and needy. It's Alma's prayer that at least a small dream be realized. And that's by Alma. So I'm going to present Alma's video.